All right, today we're gonna go for a walk, a little walk and talk. And I wanna continue on the conversation I started the other day about obstacles, and also something that I started to allude to the other day about how when I'm speaking and trying to get my thoughts clear, there's an abundance of different ideas that come up and different ways I could take the conversation, and part of my struggle is to decide which way to go with a conversation and what to say. Just thinking about obstacles as opportunities. So instead of seeing an obstacle as something preventing you from doing something you want, and we all do this. We all say something along the lines of, well, I can't do this because so and so is happening. I think the more that we recognize those obstacles and frame them as an opportunity, the more we can grow. Our brains are like prediction machines, and we're constantly trying to predict what's going to happen next and also make meaning of the things that are happening now. And I think that is part of what we suffer, because we're constantly applying a story to every little situation and what that means to us, what that means to our story. And we don't necessarily have to do that. For years I was trying to find the positive perspective in a situation, and while I think this is good, it's also, I think you can try just removing story altogether or narrative altogether in a situation, and then you look at it and there's really a lot of times nothing to it. There's lots of little things that get to us and bother us, and anytime these things are bothering us, we're complicit in that. We're deciding to be bothered by it. We can choose not to be bothered by it. And sometimes it's very hard for us to make that decision and not be bothered by something. But it doesn't mean we can't work at it and get better at it. And that's something that I try to do. I know I have some few little annoyances that get to me sometimes, and instead of trying to fix them and control them externally, which is essentially impossible, I need to fix that internally and fix my reaction to it, and understand that the real progression and to really make a change happens within. So all these little annoyances and obstacles that arise for us along our path, we can choose to see them as ways of limiting us from what we want to do and accept that story, or we can choose to see them as opportunities to grow and become better and be the person that gets around them despite whatever circumstance has arisen. And I think that's what we should be striving for. To be bulletproof in a sense, to be secure. We all want security, so we should all be working at becoming secure with the circumstances that we're in. And the better we can just continue to be ourselves despite whatever is happening around us, the more we grow. So I think this series will kind of be a continuation of one conversation in a way, just bringing up the same points over and going deeper on them. Our choices and how we frame and perceive things, and our perspective on things, and our internal dialogue, the stories we tell ourselves, and how we a lot of times suffer those stories, and we don't necessarily have to. So to wrap up the conversation, I just want to reiterate that we can choose to see an obstacle as something that is limiting us from doing something we want to do, or we can choose to see it as an opportunity to become better and become more ourselves. That about wraps it up for today. I can and will go deeper on this as we continue these conversations. And as always, I appreciate your time. And if you have any comments or questions about any of this or anything you'd like me to talk about, I would appreciate that as well. So thank you for your time. More later.